If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're not new, welcome back. Today we are continuing on with our Laravel Breeze coderprise project. And what I want to work on is reading vehicles or displaying vehicles, basically a show page. Now, something that I want to correct, a little bit of a bug, is right now we don't have any vehicles in our project. As you can see, vehicle 0, and also here our message that says no vehicles yet. But when we go to create, you can see there's an undefined variable vehicle. And if we go down to where that error is, this is in our form and it's in our image source property where we have vehicle custom image. Now, the issue is obviously since there's no vehicle in there, there's no custom image to have that we are trying to pull from the model. That's the attribute that we created. So this doesn't actually exist for a vehicle that doesn't have an image or a vehicle that doesn't exist. First, let's go ahead and head over to the model. And this is where that attribute is coming from. Really, I'm just going to copy this. And then we can go to that create_blade.php. And if we head down to where we're displaying that, which is right here, instead of this here, we can go ahead and just change that back to the storage images defaults. As you can see, it's allowed us to go to this page without an error. Go back, and then we go back to the page, then we can see it here. Let's go ahead and create a vehicle so that we have one to work with. Just going to grab this VW van in here. Go ahead, create, and then we have been redirected back to our index. The link that I want to create is this explore page. This explore page is going to take us to our show page. So let's go and set that up. We can go ahead and close these out, and then we'll go to the web routes so that we can create that route. And I'm going to grab this one, copy paste. This will be get, and then it'll still be vehicles. But we are going to be using root model binding, so we'll pass in the vehicle here. Then the function will be show. And now we can go ahead to the controller and start working on displaying that. It'll be right here. This is our next function. So for us, we can just do return view vehicles.show. And then we can also pass in that vehicle. So let's go ahead and create that view. Go down to resources, views, vehicles. And for now, I'm just going to duplicate this create. Just call it show.blade.php. Now to get to this, I also want to create that link, which will be here. It'll be this button right here. You need to pass in the vehicle ID so that it knows which vehicle it is. You comment this out just so that we can make sure that our view is working. And then we'll go to the browser. We'll go ahead and click explore. And here we are. Again, we haven't changed anything, but as you can see, it's localhost vehicles/1, which is the ID of this vehicle. We only have one vehicle. Now what we can do is head over to our assets folder and we'll open up pages, vehicles, show. And if we go down to where we're displaying the, if I can find H2, there it is. And this is what we're going to be needing. So we can just copy the whole H2. And I'm going to go ahead and put it up here. And that's our new header. Let's go ahead and fill in that. Since we have the vehicle variable, we'll be able to do that. Oh, so we have the year, the make, and the model. And go ahead and we have we're going to have a success message like we do on the index page. So I'm going to go ahead and just grab everything within the padding Y. And that's everything that we can put here. So first, let's deal with our images. And then we can change this one. It'll be asset, storage, images. Isn't true. We don't have to do this here. We can do the vehicle custom image, because that's the attribute that we just took a look at. I'm going to copy this and we're going to fill in the rest of the information. This one I can actually just copy from here. Here, make model. Here, make model. Go ahead, grab this. And we can do vehicle. We have an attribute for that. I just don't remember what it's called. Let's take a look. Calculate a price. And we don't have a listed by yet because we don't have an association to user just yet. We will. It's just not going to be in this episode, but that's something that we do need to fill in. Now, there's a link also to the edit page, which we haven't gotten to yet with the form submit. And there's a link to go back to the index. And that'll say back to vehicles. And then this is where we're going to put our description. Right, so that should be all of our fields. Let's go ahead and check the browser. All right, we'll deal with the success message in a bit, but for now, this looks pretty good. It's a big image, which is fine. And then we have our edit, delete. We have our back to vehicles. We have the price, and this is where our listed by will be. And this is our little description that we have. So let's start by changing the success message, and that we can grab from the index because it's the same thing. And then we'll just add that in here. That's been removed from the top of the page. That looks good. Now that we have a show page, what I want to do is if we create a vehicle and it's successful, I actually want it to redirect to this particular show page or to the show page of that vehicle. So in the vehicle controller, we're finished with this show method, but in here now, we can do return to route vehicles.show, and then we'll pass in the vehicle ID. Well, let's try this and see if it works. We'll go ahead and create. So as you can see, we're back on the vehicles show page. The ID number of this vehicle is 2. It's a 1989 something or other. That's what it looks like. And then we're good to go for that. Now, the other thing that I want to do is, and I don't typically show it with every project that I do, but it is good practice to do it. And it is something that I do in my own personal projects where whenever I have a show page or anything that's going to be pointing to a specific item, so in our case, right now it's vehicles, I don't like the ID to be in the URL. It's not secure. If you do that, then anyone looking can say, okay, well, I'm user ID 2. Let me try something with user ID 3 in the URL. That's not something that you really want to do. Typically, for a project, if I'm doing something where I'm going to, let's say, show or edit pages or anything like that, I will use UUIDs in place of the IDs. Now, I'm going to show you how to do it in 2 different ways. Today, we're going to work on one specific one for the vehicles, and then when we get to the users, I'll show you a different way to implement it using that. But for now, we're going to work on just the vehicles. So if you go to the Laravel documentation, you do a quick search for UUIDs, this page will come up, and this is where you want to go. It is in the Eloquent ORM Getting Started. If you look at the Eloquent Model Conventions and you go down to UUIDs, there are 2 different ones. You have UUID and ULID. I've never used the ULID, so I can't really talk too much about it, but I have used the UUIDs. A UUID is basically a string. It's 36 characters and they're all random, separated by dashes. Now, in this example that they're giving you, you can use the trait that will allow the UUID to be considered the ID for the model. This is not how we're going to do it today. This is how we're going to do it for the user model, but as of now, that's not how we're going to do it. Because this is a little bit more in-depth on how it's used in that way. But we're not going to be doing it that way. And you can use the has ULIDs trait in the same way. It's all in the documentation. So I just wanted to give you just an idea of what it is, how it's used, how we're going to use it. Now for us, I'm just going to close all of these out so that we have a clean surface to work on. We're going to go to the database migrations. We're going to go to the vehicle model. And as you can see, we have the table ID. That's fine for what we're doing today and what I want to show you. So Laravel has a really simple way of implementing UUIDs on a table. And it's just called UUID. That field, we're just going to call it UUID. And you can call it whatever you like. Genuinely does not matter to me what you call it. Just call it something that's relevant, that you'll remember, and that you're not going to come back 2 years later to this project and wonder, what the hell is that, right? We're going to have this UUID be in this vehicle's database. So let's go and add this to the model so that we can insert it when we are creating a vehicle. In the controller, and we are storing the vehicle in the model, we can also create the UUID here. Now, again, I am sure there's about 5 different ways to do this. I'm only going to show you this one in this episode, but there are others, and I highly suggest you go and find some documentation to see if there's something else that you are more comfortable with. The whole goal of me showing you this is just to explain what it is, how you could potentially use it, and how I would potentially use it in this situation. We're going to have UUID, and then Laravel has a string helper, which is just UUID. So again, when we're creating a vehicle, this field will be filled in by a random string UUID, and that'll be what we identify these vehicles as. How is this going to work for our routing? Well, let's go over to the web route and take a look. Right now, this is the only route that we have a vehicle where we're inserting it. We're doing root model binding. This is the only route that we have that has that so far built into Laravel's core functionality. All you have to do on this route is now tell this route which field on the vehicle database, on the vehicle model, you want to use for this URL. So here we can just put a colon, UUID. Let's start with the link. We'll go to the index.blade.php for the vehicles, and then we'll go down to where we have that link. This is where we'll take a look first. Say UUID. So something that we should do first is remigrate our database. Okay, we'll go ahead, create a new user. Vehicles, create a vehicle. Well, let's just make sure that we can get this UUID. Oh, I forgot an image. Not found. Correct, because this is trying to go to vehicles 1, which we haven't changed that in the controller yet. But if we go to our vehicles, this vehicle is in here. And if we hover over Explorer and you look bottom left here, you'll see that that is now pointing to our vehicle/UUID instead of the ID. So let's go fix that in the controller. This way, we'll know that it works once we create a vehicle, and this will be redirected to UUID. Go ahead, create. We have been redirected back to the vehicle/UUID. We have all the information that we need here, and that looks pretty good. Now we have implemented the R in CRUD, as well as used our Laravel string helpers to create a URL with UUIDs. If you're enjoying the content, please go ahead and click that like button, as it really does help out the channel. Here's a video YouTube thinks you'll like, and here's a playlist to follow along. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.